fresh out the box.
Fresh California plums.
Welcome to another episode of Fresh Film Fridays, the podcast where two dudes pick the newest films streaming or in theaters and discuss them. Today we're talking about 2022's Hellraiser, which was directed by David Bruckner. I'm your co-host, Alec.
Oh, I'm Eric. Just kidding, it's Justin. But I do wish this was Eric, so I didn't have to watch this terrible movie.
Okay. Before you say anything, let's just get this out of the way. What is your relationship with Hellraiser in general? What do you know about it? What have you seen? Just let's hear it all.
Full disclosure, I have not seen any of the originals. This was my first take into it.
Okay. Do you know anything about, like, Clive Barker?
Nope.
Okay. Do you even know, like, who the Freddy Krueger or the Michael Myers of Hellraiser is?
No, I like Pinhead.
Okay, you know Pinhead. You know what his name is. Like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him other than he looks like a doll.
Okay.
Or she. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to start from there. Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, so you're not a fan, you don't know much about it. Okay. So yeah, this is your first one. Okay. All right, and you did not like it. Let's hear. Why didn't you like it, Justin?
Well, basically, I broke this movie up into three categories, right, while watching it. One, did I think the acting was good? No. All the main, 4 or 5 kids or whatever that were in the movie, super cheesy. I thought, the main curly-haired girl and, her boyfriend thing, they were just screaming the whole time at each other. It was, super annoying.
That's fair.
2, I broke it up into, was it scary? Because it's a horror movie. And I wasn't scared at all. There were no moments where I was like, oh man, this is spooky. It was literally just skin peeling off the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3, did I enjoy it even though it wasn't scary or good acting? Because I have enjoyed movies with shitty acting, and no. So.
Okay. Is there any positives? Any positives at all?
I mean, it was gross, seeing chains ripping people's faces off and shit. They did a good job making you be like, "Ooh, that was disgusting."
Mm-hmm.
But from a horror perspective, it just wasn't scary to me.
Okay, so do you think Saw is scary? Are you into those kind of movies?
I would say Saw is scary in the aspect that it would be terrifying if you were locked in a room and there was a key in you or something and you had to cut it out. More so than a traditional Freddy Krueger monster chasing you.
Okay. Well, I think just to set the stage of where you're at, I guess, with horror films and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I didn't love this movie, but I didn't hate it like you do.
Well, I guess my biggest problem with it, which you can explain, is I don't think I got it.
Well, it's very different, honestly, than the original one. This is pretty much just Hellraiser in title, I'd say. That's really the only thing that's in common. That and a curly-haired protagonist. That's about it. The original one has Kirsty, which is a brunette, curly-haired girl, and she's a protagonist. This one has this lady. That's about it, though. Pinhead's in it, but it's completely different rendition of Pinhead from the original one, so it's almost is this even really Pinhead? I don't really know. And, yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, man, this series is pretty bad. This is, notoriously a bad series. People are like, oh, the first, 3 are pretty good, but then it's there's 10 of these, and all of the other ones are shit, and people love shitting on them. So, I think this is a step up.
There's a difference between bad movies that you can still enjoy because, there are bad movies that people are like, nah, that movie sucks. But I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it every now and then. And then there's bad movies where I'm like, I wish I actually didn't watch that. Jeez. And this just it was 2 hours long and it felt really long. I paused it at an hour and I was like, holy shit. And then I paused it at an hour 45 and I was like, oh my God. And maybe you can help explain it to me. So, Are these monsters demons or what? Who are they? They're
called Cenobites. That's what their title is, and they're as they say, demons to some, angels to others. They're almost they can grant you wishes essentially, and
But the wishes have catches because they're not good wishes.
But it's almost like the monkey paw thing or whatever, where it's you're I want to be famous or whatever, and it's it turns you into Hitler or something like that. There's always a caveat basically. So yeah, this is basically what this thing is, where it's there's this box, and the box basically, if you can collect souls in it, then you get to choose what you want from these Cenobites. And the Cenobites people, like, at the end, that's that guy becoming a Cenobite. So I don't know, now he's one of them.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So I don't remember what his original wish was, where they put like that nerve pulling thing.
Yeah.
But his last wish was, he said, "I want to be powerful." So were they rewarding him by turning him into one of them?
I think so. I mean, listen, I don't know everything either at all. Like, I don't remember what his wish was either. It was like, I want to be something. What the hell was it? And then they're like, oh, well, we'll put this like thing into your body that pulls on your nerves all day, every day.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, by the way, where it showed his body being like reconstructed and healed again, and then the chain just went right through this chest.
Yeah. So I don't know. So basically, there's this like billionaire guy who's like, I'm so rich, I've done everything, I've been everywhere, you know, now I'm gonna try and like fuck with demons and like interdimensional beings or whatever. So he gets this box. He then has exquisite parties or whatever where the people then get like, you know, he kills the people, their soul goes into the box, and then he gets rewarded, but his reward is actually not a reward. But, I mean, like, dude, you didn't really... I thought the twist was pretty good. You didn't think the twist at the end where it's like the boyfriend, like, actually works for this guy and he, you know, brought her and her friends into this?
I mean, I feel like if this was any other movie, you'd be like, I saw that coming.
I didn't see that coming. I really didn't.
Really?
I didn't.
I mean, I didn't know that would happen, but when he said it, I was like, oh, okay.
I was more mad because I was like, wait, why is this kid working for this guy? Like, Voight, like, why is this young guy working for you?
Here's the thing that annoyed me. So you got this rich Italian guy, right? And he's clearly been betrayed in some way because even though he's like rich and eternal, he has this thing that's literally inside of him, torturing him nonstop. And so this boyfriend, right? I don't know how the conversation went when they first met, but the Italian guy was like, yeah, well, they can give you whatever you want. And this kid, who's clearly seeing this dude being tortured, is like, sure, like, why would I end up like you? So it's like, what'd you think was going to happen with that?
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree.
And then the second part to that annoyed me even more was the Italian dude trapped them in a cage. Like, he closed the door, which I don't know how these like super demons who can control chains out of another dimension can't get through a fucking door. But maybe it's a magical door. But then when it opens, he makes another deal with them, and I'm like, you didn't learn from the first time? I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. It reminds me a little bit of 13 Ghosts, to be honest with you.
I literally was comparing. I was thinking while watching on the couch, I was like, I would rather watch 13 Ghosts. Because at least Shannon Elizabeth is in it. So. Yeah,
you got Shannon Elizabeth there. I'll give you that. But I don't know, man. I think the house was a little confusing to me too. So it's like the main girl, Riley. So like she goes into this massive mansion because she finds out like, okay, like this is where I need to go. I don't remember why, but she goes to the house by herself. She goes into Voight's house or whatever, and then the demons can't get in there or whatever because, yeah, this guy's, like, built this house. He's like, it's not the trap, or whatever he says at the end. But the demons, why can they go in there? If you open the door, it's like, okay, I can't come in unless the door's open?
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, this rich guy put the cube thing in the safe in the warehouse. I'm not sure if it was to hide it forever. That's what's also confusing. So they put it in the safe, and then he's working with the boyfriend, and the boyfriend said to Riley, like, hey, there's like this super expensive thing that like no one is looking at, and they steal it. And then she stabs her finger on it, which everyone else who stabs their finger on it immediately chains like a rip in their to shreds. But they somehow make a deal, and they're like, if you bring us more souls, we'll like give you your brother. I don't know why they made a deal with her, but they did. And then they go to visit his old assistant lady, who she stabs, and then that's how they end up at the mansion, because they mentioned their name and they went there. But when they were going after the assistant lady, can no one else see them? Like, where was the staff?
See who? The demons, or see these people coming in with the box and everything?
Like when the woman who was his old assistant was like running in the elderly home place. Like, the walls are literally shifting. And I'm like, maybe can she only see it, or is it?
Yeah, I think it's only the person that got stabbed. It's like in your mind or whatever. Yeah, because it's almost like Freddy Krueger with the dreams. It's like they can't see it, but it's happening to you still. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it was super grotesque. Like, seeing chains, like when the chain in the beginning went through that dude's kneecap,
Yeah.
I was like, that's disgusting. And it was bloody and it did the job.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't going for like a stellar story and they just wanted it to be like brutal, like these demons who their faces are peeled off, their genitals are like inside out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they nailed that aspect. I just didn't understand why.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, the original one is a lot different. Like, the Cenobites are still in it, Pinhead's still in it, and stuff like that, but they're not the focus. They're pretty much the focus in this movie, and the box and all that stuff. The original one is about this, like, couple that move in, and it's like a husband, his new wife, and the husband's daughter. And they're all moving into this house, and we find out that there's something in the attic that's like a demon or whatever, and it's actually the husband's brother who's having an affair with his new wife or whatever, and he died. So now the wife or whatever has to bring bodies back to the house to resurrect her ex-lover. But by doing so, she accidentally opens up this box to hell, and the Cenobites come out. That's what that movie's about. This movie's a lot different. Like, yeah, we have to like believe that there's this billionaire that's paying like young men to like go get junkies basically, or like people that don't have anything good going in their life to go rob this container that has the thing in it, which then she has to have friends or whatever. Like, yeah, it was a lot. It is a lot. I'm not saying it's perfect. But like you have to say, like, it looked good. Like the set looked really good.
Oh, the visuals were great. Like the shifting of the walls and the chains coming out of thin air. Like it was definitely violent. I just think they could have done a lot more with 2 hours. And I mean, would I like the 1987 one more or 83, whatever?
I think it's just more cohesive. Like it just makes a little bit more sense. And it's still pretty gross, but like it's 80s, so it's not like as intense. I will say this, and people are probably really not gonna like this, but like I still think the original Pinhead is better. Doug Bradley, the guy that played him, he played him in almost every single one of them. Like all the shitty straight to DVD sequels, he was in them. And I think for them to get rid of him, it just why? Like why? I don't know.
I mean, is he still like acting? Or?
Yeah, he's still around. He's like in his 70s, I think, but like they're not doing anything too physical. They're kind of just standing there saying scary things. I mean, I don't know. So I think having like whatever the person that is the new Pinhead, like she was fine. Like I'm nothing against her, but I'm just kind of like, well, if that guy's not dead, the actor's not dead, he still is around to do it. Why not? I don't know.
Yeah, Doug Bradley, lead Cenobite. Okay, they don't even call him Pinhead in the IMDb.
They don't even call him Pinhead in the movie. In the original one, that was like all people. Like, dude, that's the thing. Like, you watch the original Hellraiser, like the Cenobites are not the focus, even though Pinhead's on the poster and everybody's like, oh, like this has got to be like the new Freddy Krueger or whatever. They're not in it that much, Okay. It's a totally different movie. This movie's like, no, it's all about the Cenobites. It's all about that. So it's different.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe, I don't know, he looks a lot older, but I feel like with makeup and graphics, and his face is all like white.
He's got pins all over his face. Who cares? So like, whoa. That guy doesn't look like he's like in his 50s anymore.
I think it definitely would have been cooler if they brought him back to do it, unless he just didn't want to for some reason. But I was not feeling the cast, dude. I don't know.
They were fine. There's nobody really, like everybody dies so fast that you're like, I don't really care that much. I will say this though. This is going to sound crazy, but it actually makes sense. The lead, Riley, is actually the daughter of Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats.
I'm sorry, what? What do you... Like in real life, what do you say?
All right, so the woman that voices Tommy Pickles, her name is Pam Adelin, and that's the mom of this woman.
Okay, so one of the twins in Rugrats.
No, so Tommy Pickles, the lead, like bald baby.
Okay, right.
The voice of the character is a woman.
Yeah.
And that's this actress's mother in real life. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's a very roundabout way of getting there, but...
All right. Interesting. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling them. And, like, in this one, it says Jamie Clayton, who was Pinhead. It just says the priest. It doesn't even say Cenobite, Pinhead.
Leader of the Cenobites. Yeah, but it does... Yeah, you're right. As the priest. That's it. Yeah.
So, I guess for... or younger people or people like me who just have not seen it.
Yeah.
There's really no backstory, which you definitely can do in a 2-hour movie. So I feel like they I'm assuming they're going to make more again, probably. Let's see if this was profitable.
Well, we won't know. It was straight to Hulu and it came out like 2 days ago. So.
Oh, you're right. It was straight to Hulu. Right. It was filmed in Belgrade and Serbia.